My wife cheated with her executive boss on business trips. I didn't just divorce her. I dismantled his entire company and left her with nothing. My wife and her boss treated me like a dumb laborer while cheating on my dime. I gave their secrets to the boss's wife, the partners, and the news. Boss lost his company. Wife lost her career, her house, and her dignity. This is a long one, but I finally have the legal clearance to post it. I, 35M, am a specialized welder. I work 12-hour shifts, often in brutal conditions, to bring home 6 figures. My wife, Claire, 33F, worked as a senior VP for a boutique investment firm. I was proud of her. I thought we were a team. I'd come home covered in soot and grease, and she'd be in her power suits, talking about her high-stakes meetings. For 2 years, the business trips became constant. Seattle, NYC, London. She always said her boss, Julian, only trusted her to close the big deals. I believed her. I even felt guilty that I couldn't be her +1 because of my work schedule. The mask fell off 3 months ago. Claire left her iPad at home, and it was synced to her phone. A message popped up from Julian. The suite in Miami is booked. Can't wait to have you away from that manual labor for 3 days. You deserve a real man. I felt sick. I went through the logs. It wasn't just physical. They were mocking me. They called me the ATM in overalls. They had been using the company credit card to fund their lifestyle while I was literally risking my lungs in a fabrication shop to pay off our mortgage. The strategy, the long game, I didn't confront her. I'm a welder. I know that if you want a structure to fall, you don't hit the roof. You cut the support beams. The wife, I hired a high-end PI. We got 4K footage of them in Miami. I also found out Julian was creative with his business taxes to fund these trips. The partners. Julian didn't own the firm alone. He had 3 major silent partners who were strict, family values types. The boss's wife, Julian's wife, Beth, came from a massive tech family. She was the one who provided the initial capital for his firm. The day of reckoning, I waited for the firm's 10-year anniversary gala. I was invited as the doting husband. Before the event, I sent a digital gift to Julian's wife, the 3 partners, and the local news station's investigative on your side team. The gift contained the PI footage, spreadsheets showing Julian using company funds for escort-style perks for Claire, screenshots of them mocking the partner's intelligence. At the gala, Julian stood on stage, praising loyalty and integrity. Right as he finished, his wife, Beth, walked up, took the mic, and calmly announced she was filing for divorce and pulling every cent of her family's capital from the firm. The partners walked out. The news crew was waiting at the valet. The legal massacre because Claire had used company funds, which technically belonged to the partners, for her personal gain during these affairs. She was fired for cause immediately. No evidence. No cobra. Nothing. In our divorce, my lawyer was a shark. Since I had proof she was using marital assets to fund a lifestyle with her lover, and because her career was now effectively dead due to the morality clause in her contract, I played hardball. I got the house. I paid for 90% of it anyway. I kept my entire pension and 401k. The judge ordered her to pay back the dissipated funds she spent on Julian. The aftermath, Julian's business collapsed within a month. Without Beth's money and with the partners suing him for embezzlement, he filed for Chapter 7. He's currently under federal investigation for tax evasion. Claire? She's radioactive. In her industry, your reputation is everything. No firm will touch a VP who was caught on the news embezzling funds for an affair. Last I heard, she's living in a cramped studio apartment, working a retail job just to make ends meet. Every time she tries to find a professional job, a simple Google search of her name brings up the news segment. Local investment firm collapses amid scandal. Her face is the thumbnail. I'm still welding. I'm still working hard. But now, when I come home, the house is quiet, the mortgage is paid, and the only person I'm providing for is myself. Update. I dismantled my wife's firm after she cheated with her boss. Here is where they are now, 6 months later. It's been half a year since the Gala massacre, as my buddies at the shop call it. A lot of you asked for an update on whether the fallout stuck. The short answer, it didn't just stick, it buried them. My life, the manual laborer, is doing just fine. After the divorce was finalized, I sold the big suburban house. It had too many memories of her business trip, packing sessions. I bought a smaller, custom-built cabin out by the lake with cash. Career. I actually got promoted to shop foreman. I don't have to pull 12s anymore unless I want to. Peace. For the first time in a decade, I don't wake up wondering why my wife is hiding her phone. I spent my alimony savings on a classic 1967 Mustang project. It's a lot more loyal than Claire ever was. The boss, Julian from penthouse to public defender. Julian's downfall was the most spectacular. When his wife, Beth, pulled her family's capital, the firm didn't just close, it imploded. Legal trouble, the creative accounting I found. The IRS found it even more interesting. He's currently facing charges for wire fraud and tax evasion. Social standing. He lost the penthouse and the Porsche. Last I heard, he's living in his sister's guest room while he waits for his trial. He tried to sue me for defamation, but my lawyer just pointed to the 4K footage and the news reports. His own lawyer dropped him because he couldn't pay the retainer. The ex-wife, Claire, the power suit, is gone. This is the part that most of you are curious about. Claire didn't land on her feet. The job market. She is effectively blacklisted. In a world of high finance, embezzlement for an affair is a career death sentence. She applied to dozens of firms. Most didn't even give her an interview. One recruiter allegedly told her, "We saw the YouTube clip of your boss's wife at the gala. We're going to pass." Current situation. She's working as a shift lead at a big box retail store 2 towns over. She's living in a studio apartment above a noisy laundromat. The interaction. I saw her once at a grocery store last month. She looked exhausted, gray hair showing, cheap clothes, bags under her eyes. She tried to approach me, probably to ask for money or closure. I didn't even break my stride. I just looked through her like she was a ghost. The lover's bond. The funniest part? Claire and Julian haven't spoken since the night of the gala. This soulmate connection they bragged about on the security tapes evaporated the second there was no money to fund it. He blamed her for being careless with the iPad. She blamed him for promising her a life he couldn't deliver. The lesson. They thought they were the smartest people in the room because they had degrees and suits. They forgot that a house built on lies has no foundation, and a welder knows exactly how to find the weak spot. Final update. She cornered me in my truck to ask for mercy. I gave her a reality check instead. This will be my last post on this. The manual laborer is officially signing off, but I had to share the final nail in the coffin. 2 days ago, I was walking out to the parking lot after my shift. I had just finished an overtime double. I was covered in soot, and I was looking forward to taking the Mustang out for a sunset drive. I saw a figure leaning against my driver's side door. It was Claire. The confrontation. She looked worse than she did at the grocery store. She was wearing her old retail uniform under a thin jacket. She lost weight, but not in a healthy way. Her eyes were red, like she'd been sitting there crying for an hour. "Claire, Mark, please. Just 5 minutes." "Me? You have 30 seconds to move away from my paint job, Claire. I just had it waxed." Claire, starting to sob. "I can't do this anymore. My landlord is evicting me. I can't get a job in my field. Nobody will even look at my resume because of those news articles. I made a mistake, Mark. Julian manipulated me. He told me you didn't understand me, that I was meant for more than a blue-collar life." "Me? I believe the term you used on the iPad was ATM in overalls. Is that right?" She froze. The memory of her own words hit her like a physical blow. "Claire, I was stupid. I was caught up in the lifestyle. But we were married for 12 years. Doesn't that mean anything? I'm starving, Mark. I'm literally going to be on the street by Monday. Can't you just talk to the news? Tell them it was a misunderstanding. Give me a loan to get a deposit in a new place." The reality check. I took a step closer, and for the first time, I let her see exactly how little power she had. I didn't yell. I didn't have to. "Me? You spent 2 years laughing at the dirt under my fingernails while that dirt was paying for the silk on your back. You didn't just cheat, Claire. You stole. You tried to bleed me dry with Julian while I was working 12-hour shifts in a mask so I wouldn't breathe in metal shavings." I pulled out my phone. I didn't show her the news. I showed her the original 4K video from the library. The part where she's clinking champagne glasses with Julian and saying, "I can't wait until he's broken so we can move to the coast." Me, I watch this every time I feel a shred of pity for you. It's my favorite movie. It reminds me that the woman I loved never actually existed. You're not a senior VP anymore, Claire. You're just a thief who got caught. Claire, so that's it? You're just going to watch me become homeless. Me, I'm not watching anything. I'm moving on. What happens to you is simply the consequence of the choices you made. You wanted a real man like Julian? Go find him. Oh wait, he's in a holding cell. The exit. I got in my truck. I started the engine. The roar of the V8 drowned out whatever she was screaming next. As I backed out, I saw her sink onto the asphalt of the parking lot, burying her face in her hands. She stayed there in my rear-view mirror until I turned the corner. Where she is now. She has no money, no husband, no career, and no friends. The ATM is closed for good. I'm heading to the lake now. The weather is perfect, the Mustang is running like a dream, and my life is finally my own. Success is the best revenge, but watching the person who tried to destroy you face the literal dirt they mocked? At a very close second. Comments. U/Steelworker92 score 18.2K. The 30 seconds to move away from my paint job line is legendary. As a fellow blue-collar guy, I felt that in my soul. There's nothing more satisfying than seeing a power couple realize they were actually just parasites living off a host. Enjoy the Mustang, brother. You earned every gear shift. U/blue-collar justice. Op. Score. 5.1K. Thanks, man. The paint is raven black. It looks better than her future right now. U/legal and training score 12.1K. Award platinum. People don't realize how much of a death sentence dissipation of marital assets is in a divorce. She literally spent her way into homelessness by using your money to fund a lifestyle for a guy who didn't even like her. That judge didn't just give you a divorce. She gave you a restitution order. Absolute masterclass in keeping your cool. U/financeferry_99 score 8.5K. As someone in HR for a fintech firm, yeah, she's done. If I Google a candidate and the first thing that pops up is a news report about them helping embezzle funds to cover up an affair, that resume goes into the shredder before I finish my coffee. Integrity is the only currency in that world, and she's bankrupt. U/throwaway judge 88 score 6.3K. I've seen a lot of scorned spouse cases, but the ATM and overalls comment is what sealed her fate. Judges are human, and when they see that level of cold-blooded disrespect toward a provider, any pity they might have felt for the lower-earning spouse evaporates. She mocked the hand that fed her, and now she's hungry. Poetic. U/salty cynic score 3.2K. Wait, so the lover, Julian, is actually in a holding cell? Please tell me his wife, Beth, is the one who tipped off the IRS. That would be the cherry on top. U/blue-collar justice, OP, score 4.0K. Word on the street is she handed over a thumb drive with 5 years of business expenses that were actually personal vacations. She didn't just leave him. She nuked him. U/realistic, add 402 score 1.1K. To the people in the comments saying this is too harsh, did we read the same story? She didn't just cheat. She was actively plotting to break him and take his retirement while he was working a dangerous job. This isn't just revenge. It's a closed account. U/auto moderator score 1. This thread has been locked. Due to the high volume of comments and the story reaching the front page, we are locking this thread to prevent brigading. OP, best of luck with the Mustang.
If you enjoy the story, please hit like and subscribe for daily content, and comment your thoughts, suggestions, and request stories below. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.